What's up guys? Welcome to Bioactive Builds. Today I'm going to be doing a video on rehousing my Tesseract corn snake. This is his old enclosure, just a 10-gallon top opening aquarium, glass aquarium, but we got a nice new big Exoterra front opening for him. And also I wanted to show off my Bioactive Builds shirt. If you like this shirt, let me know in the comments. I'll see if you guys wanted to order them or anything like that. If there's interest, I'll set that up. But for today, we're just going to be rehoming him. We've got a few new things to put in the enclosure as well, so let's get into it. All right, so this is a cube style tank. It's 18 inches, 18 by 18 by 18. Couple of things to note: it has a mesh on the top for some ventilation, also ventilation's here, so you can get cross ventilation. And the main thing, front opening doors. That is going to be a huge help. So much easier to take your animal out, to change the tank, everything. And we used to have clips on the top of the enclosure because he would be able to take off that screen on the top. So this is going to prevent that. It has clips built in here. So just overall, this is going to be a really great improvement. I'm not going to be changing too much about it. I will keep the background for now. We're going to put some of the same substrate in just so it has the same scent. But overall, it should be a pretty easy transfer, but a lot more space. This will be a really great grow out tank for him. So let's get started. So first thing first, I'm going to put the heat mat on the bottom. I'm going to put it in the bottom right and have the wire sticking out here. So pretty simple. We also have a thermometer or like a temperature gauge here, which will regulate the temperature. We'll set it to a certain amount of degrees, and then it'll turn off when it reaches that. So you don't really have to worry about it overheating, because the snakes will burn if you don't have one of these. So really important to put the temperature reader in the middle, in between the glass and the heat mat itself. So let's go ahead and put this in. So for the substrate, it's going to be the same as before. I have some dust-free snake bedding, and then just some reptile bark. It's from fir trees. So we're going to mix those together. Mostly going to be the reptile snake bedding, and then just doing some bark for some textures. But let's go ahead and mix that up. Put a nice base of the snake bedding first, and we'll add the bedding from this previous tank afterwards, so it has some of the scent on there. Alright, we got a nice base started here. This is one of the problems with having the tank like this, is if I want to open it, he loves to go in this little crease in between the screen and the top. So if I try and open it, boom, he falls, and there's really nothing I can do about that. So the front opening is definitely going to help prevent him from falling so much. Make sure you spot clean before you add the old stuff. And this actually had some dirt in here as well, so it's fine to have some dirt if you want. Kind of making a mess. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Alright, well, instead of making a mess, I forgot I can actually take the top off and then go ahead and dump it in. Just gonna give it a bit of a mist so that dry dirt isn't as dry and flying up everywhere. Bit of a mist, mix it around. Definitely don't want it damp. This is just kind of keep any dust or dirt that is kind of free in there from being so loose. That should be good. So I'm not entirely sure if he'll be able to squeeze through here and then climb up the back. If he does, he won't be able to go through here. I can close off these holes, but if it does become a problem, I'll just cover those with something, but I really don't expect, especially if I shove some of the substrate in there, he won't be able to dig through that. Just something to note. If I can't find him, he might be back here. So once you have this in, I mean, I told you it was really easy. Basically put all the stuff you want in here. The only thing you need to note is where you did put your heat mat. You don't want to put your water bowl over there. You could put a hide over here so you can have a warm hide. Just keep your water bowl on the other side. You don't want that getting hot and evaporating, creating too much humidity in the tank. But other than that, you just have fun decorating it how you want. Put your hides, different plants. We got some fake plants, and I got this cool rock hide. I'll put some moss in there and kind of keep it as a more humid hide. Gonna go in through that little hole. But other than that, I'm just gonna start putting things where I think it would look nice. We're going, we're just putting in the thermometer and the humidity reader. Don't need to do much to maintain the humidity, just having a bowl with water in it should do the trick. He loves climbing up around this branch, so we're gonna put it in the back corner somewhere and kind of dig it into the substrate, bury it a bit so it's stable. I got some dry leaves here to put at the bottom and then a couple fake plants. You might be wondering, what are you doing? This is supposed to be bioactive builds. What are you doing with fake plants? But this is my girlfriend's snake and she can't keep a plant alive to save her life. And honestly, it's just easier to use fake plants, especially in a snake enclosure when you don't want high humidity. So you gotta be careful with watering and everything. So I'm just gonna use these fake plants, works just fine. He's not gonna know the difference. She also chose to put the water bowl in the front, which is very smart because you're gonna be needing to change that the most often. So easy access with the water bowl is gonna be the thing that makes your life much easier as well. This is a foam background, so we can just stick those fake plants in the back, and it's coming along pretty good so far. Again, remember the heating mat is on the bottom right, so he has a nice place to burrow under that log if he wants to get warm. We're gonna make this hide here a humid hide. I'm gonna put some sphagnum moss and make it a little damp in there. And then he's got a hide here, just a half log. So it's coming along together nicely. The good thing about styrofoam backgrounds is I can just use this little metal wire, cut it, and then you can kind of put the leaves where you want and drape them around. Just bend it, stick it in the background. And a lot of people say that a big tank will just stress the animal out if it's too big. And that is true to an extent, but if you want to put a smaller snake in a big tank, you just have to add more hiding spots. If you have just one hiding spot, then yes, that could stress them out for sure because most of it's just empty. But if it's full of all different plants and pieces of wood and different textures, it'll be fine in here. It'll be able to grow up the rest of its life in here. Definitely big enough, and it will have enough hiding spots to feel comfortable in any spot of the tank. And then for this little rock hide that opens from the top, just gonna use the last of my sphagnum moss in here. Get a nice cushion. And then I'm gonna spray this down just a little bit, keep it a little moist, and it'll be a nice little moist hide for him to go. And actually I was wondering to myself, am I ever even gonna be able to find this snake with so many hiding spots? But really, if you have a lot of hiding spots, the snake is gonna be going between spots. It's gonna wanna explore. So there's actually a chance I'll be able to see it more. Even with a bigger tank, more hiding spots, he's gonna be moving around more, not just hiding in the very top edge of the enclosure, which he did before. And this is gonna be a huge improvement already. I can just see it's gonna be great for him. Texture, dead leaves for texture. This was from a plant in my old chameleon enclosure that died, and I just saved all the leaves. A few sticks in there. You know, just try and make it like they might find in the wild. So this is not a bioactive tank, but I would call this a naturalistic tank. Has a few fake plants, but you know, you kind of work with what you have. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of fake plants, but this is about as good as they're gonna look in a tank. I'm actually really pleased with this so far. Just stick it right in the foam, just like the previous one. These don't have suction cups, but good thing with the foam background, we can just pin it to the back. Wow, that looks really good. All right, we did a little bit of tweaking, filled up his water bowl, and I think that is about it. It's a huge improvement from his old tank. I have a video of me feeding him, so you can check that out. Check out what the tank used to look like. I'll put up a side-by-side. But already I can just tell he's gonna love this. So I guess the last thing to do is to put him in and let him get used to his new enclosure. Franny, what do you think of his new enclosure? You like it? You do? You think he's gonna like it? Yeah. He's a little wary. He's like, what's this new place? What is this? It's funny because I set all of this up and he's still gonna end up hiding under his water bowl, which he loves to do. I'm sure he'll explore, check out different stuff. I can definitely tell he's a bit timid right now. Different smells, different sights. Take a couple days for him to get fully used to it, explore everything, but I'm sure I'm gonna be seeing him crawling all over the top, all around, and just enjoying his new life. He's usually a really great feeder, but his feeding day's tomorrow. I'm wondering if he'll feed just as well as he usually does, being in this new enclosure. Might take him an extra day or two to take on it, but I don't really think so. I think he'll be fine. Oh, the front opening enclosure. I'm telling you, front opening makes your life so much easier. And this is actually a really good paludarium enclosure because it has this nice big space here if you wanted to put water before the ventilation. I really like Exoterras. This is what I got my crested gecko in. It's just a taller, smaller version of it. I've got a 20 gallon here, 10 gallon scorp. Here's my crested gecko, tall enclosure. 10 gallon aquarium, 5.5 gallon paludarium. And I really have never seen an enclosure these dimensions before. It's a perfect cube, 18 inches by 18 inches by 18 inches. There was one that was only a bit more expensive that was taller, but I didn't think he needed anything taller than this. I think this is a really good size so far. I might tweak some of the things that I've placed in here over time just as I learn about what he likes, or just kind of reacting to what I find is going to be beneficial for him and his health. But so far, I think it's really good. So let me move that into its final spot and then clean this up. So this is the heating regulator. So I just put the heat mat cord in here, set the temperature here. You're gonna want it to be 82 to 86 degrees. And it might not feel warm on the bottom. Don't let that fool you because it will be warm on the other side. So really let this do its job. It works great. And then just plug this bad boy into a wall and you're good to go. You can change the temperature, set it, really easy to use. I just set it and let it go and I never have a problem with it. All right, let's get this guy into a spot. Whoa, it's a pretty heavy enclosure. I did have to change where I put this because it wasn't fitting on this rack. So I put my scorpion tank up here, fits nicely. This looks all right. So I got kind of the rest of my zoo together. Working on the rest of my zoo. All right, that's near the plug. That has the timer on for the lights and everything. Again, I just put a basic light on here that is just for day-night cycle. There's no live plants in there, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't provide any heat, just to light up the tank during the day and goes off at night. All right, final position. Last little look over. Oh, what a beauty. That is so cool there. Wow, this is really starting to fill up. I need to get a bigger apartment. High five, Haley. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Again, if you like this shirt, it's not really merch yet, but it could be. If you want this shirt, just let me know in the comments. I think it's pretty cool. My girlfriend just surprised me with it. We got the scorpion, crested gecko, snake, bearded dragon. And of course, you want to represent the Bioactive Builds army. All right, guys, catch you guys in the next one.